I'm Marissa Danney. I am a CPE educator at the Shaw Chaplaincy Institute and co-facilitator of this event today. And Kamal, do you want to introduce yourself?
Welcome, everyone. My name is Kamal Abu-Shamsieh. I'm the director of the Interreligious Chaplaincy Program at the Graduate Theological Union. I'm thrilled to be coordinating the CPE GTU Day with Marissa Danney.
So we have a lot of information for you today, so I'm going to dive in and we'll hope that more folks can join us as they're able. So I wanted to start because a lot of people say, what is CPE? Or once they're in it, they go, I had no idea what I was getting into. And so we wanted to start by giving you a very brief introduction to what CPE is. So what is CPE? CPE is experiential and transformative adult theological and spiritual care education for a number of people, for spiritual teachers, leaders, practitioners, students, and lay persons of diverse spiritual and religious traditions and cultural backgrounds. And it involves something that we call the action reflection learning process, and which comes down to that you are serving people, and then you come back to your educational context to reflect on it and to learn from it and to go, okay, I think I'll do this a little bit differently next time, and then go back out. So what do you do in CPE? Let me go backwards. Whoops. There's a number of different seminars that CPE programs provide in their programs that you use to do this reflection. So of course you start with that actual care, the action part. And then you come back, you have a regular individual supervision session with your certified CPE faculty member. You have usually a group, sometimes those are called different things, but a group of your peers or of a cohort in which you receive support, affirmation for what you've done really well, clarification, as well as challenge and critique. So CPE is really important to CPE is the process of feedback from your peers, from you to your peers, and from your educator. And then you reflect on the feedback you're receiving, you reflect on who you are and the history that you're bringing, as well as your culture, your faith beliefs and systems that you bring to the service and care that you provide as a spiritual care practitioner. You create with your educator an individual contract for learning and set learning goals for yourself. So this is individualized, tailored education that you get to really focus in on where you want to go and what you want to learn. You receive lectures or have didactic seminars. You do the notorious verbatims, which are write-ups of your clinical encounters, and then you present those to the group and get feedback on them. You have seminars that are offer theoretical foundations of theology from the behavioral sciences and social sciences. And then you write self-evaluations and you receive your educator's evaluations. So we can kind of name all of that. Living it is a little bit different than just hearing it, but this is just supposed to kind of give you an idea. And here's a picture of what this transformative action reflection learning is like. It's like you're going in a circle or maybe even a helix as you delve deeper into your learning. And these are some of the theoretical foundations that inform what you're learning. And so as you engage in that reflection, you're really developing your self-awareness. And these are some of the different areas in which you develop self-awareness. And you do it in conjunction with that practice, that on the ground, in person, or maybe even virtual or on the phone, spiritual care that you're providing. So just some of the kind of most foundational information about a unit of CPE. One unit of CPE is made up of 400 hours of combined clinical and educational work. And so that is full-time. And just to make it really clear, CPE is intensive. It's intensive education because you're really living it out in your spiritual caregiving and then coming back to reflect. It is intensive. And it's usually 250 to 300 hours of that in-person service for a regular full-time unit and 100 hours of education. So that comes for a full-time unit out to about 40 hours a week for about 10 or 11 weeks, but it could be a little bit more depending on what your center or site requires of you. If you were to do what we call an extended unit, that's when those hours are drawn out over a longer period of time. And that can be seen as a part-time CPE unit. It could be 20 weeks at 20 hours a week, for example, but it could also be a different breakdown of those hours. And just to be clear again, even part-time CPE, even extended units are still intensive. So I've had some students come in thinking, oh, this is going to be like the skim milk version of CPE, and it's not. You're still getting the whole milk or almond milk or whatever form of milk you want. And then there's the full-time CPE residencies, and that's a commitment to 4 units of CPE, usually in the course of 12 months. So here are some of the types of CPE that are available. In-person CPE is available. Most CPE programs offer face-to-face spiritual care and education. There are also some programs that offer a hybrid form of CPE, and that's where a lot of it is in person or face-to-face, and some of it is online. And then there's fully remote or virtual CPE, and that is when all of the education is online. And then usually the spiritual care that you're giving or the practice that you're doing is usually in person where you are, but maybe it's also virtual. And that can kind of be up to the person and the individual situation. So how do you apply for CPE? Well, what I think the really good news is that you get to fill out one application and submit it to the different centers that you're interested in. So we have the link here for the application form, but it's on the acpe.edu website. Some CPE centers post application forms and instructions on their website. So what you need to do is completely fill out both pages of the application form. You need to sign both of the pages with an original signature, scan the signed and dated forms, and attach the required essays. If you don't fill out the application completely, you might get notified that that application can't be accepted until it's complete. But maybe you just won't get a response depending on how busy the center is. So really want to emphasize that you have to submit a completed application for it to be considered. And then you're going to submit your application to the centers that you're interested in using that center's instructions. Once you've completed an ACPE application form, as I said, you can submit it to multiple centers. And then most CPE centers require at least one interview as part of admission. So be prepared in that interview to answer some deep questions and what can sometimes be challenging questions. And we just encourage you to be honest and transparent because this is really about getting to know you and seeing if that center and you are going to be a good fit for your CPE education. In the interview, you also get to interview the center, right? So it's both sides, seeing if it's a good fit. How do you find a CPE program? Coming here today is a great way to find a CPE program. You're going to learn about a number of different programs. The website of the ACPE does list all ACPE accredited CPE centers. There's an online directory on the ACPE website that lets you search for CPE centers and programs. And you can search by a number of different criteria. And then many CPE centers have their own websites with more information. Kamal, do you want to do an intro to the GTU and the program?
Thank you, Marissa. Yes, the Interreligious Chaplaincy Program was established during COVID. Our first cohort was in September 2020. Since then, we have admitted over 60 students. Some of the success that we have is partnership with the Hindu Community Institute. We are the only program, I would say worldwide, that trains Hindus into the field of chaplaincy. And we have eight courses that are required. CPE is not required for the certificate, it's required for the master's, and we do encourage all of our students to apply for the residency program for 4 units of CPE. We're grateful to be partners with the ACPE to bring this service to our students at the GTU, and we continue to be advocates for CPE. Thank you, Marissa.
Great, thank you. Okay, so we're going to start to have our presentations from CPE centers. Disregard the time. I told you a different time programs. So it's going to be about, we have more time than I thought originally. So we're going to have about 4 minutes for each center. And for those with 2 programs at their center, we're going to have 5 minutes for them. And so here's a list of the different centers. And then after we do the presentations, we're going to have, each center is going to have, or each program is going to have its own breakout room. And so students, what you can do during the about 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. hour is you can join each of the breakout rooms that you're interested in and ask some questions. And then when you feel satisfied, you can ping over to a different breakout room and get to know that program. But that worked quite well in the past, and so we're happy to offer that again. So here's the presentation order for the presenters if you want to take a quick look and find where you are so that you can anticipate when you need to be ready to present. Okay, so let's begin.
Hi, y'all. I'm Paul Gaffney, and I'm one of the certified educators at the Shaw Chaplaincy Institute of University of Redlands, San Francisco Theological Seminary, and our CPE program, working with Reverend Marissa Danney and Reverend Dr. Lori Garrett-Cabina. All right, next slide. We are a community-based CPE program. That means that within reasonable parameters, you can choose a clinical context of your choice to do your direct service chaplaincy work. And the mission of the Shaw Chaplaincy Institute is to improve the quality of spiritual care provided to care seekers and to join with spiritual care activists in the commitment to alleviate suffering and develop communities of care where all may increase their possibility for health, healing, and resiliency. And what a beautiful photograph of our campus. So we do offer standard and extended summer, fall, and spring CPE units. Our CPE units follow our academic calendar for the most part. We offer a unit in the fall semester, in the spring semester, and a summer intensive. Our semesters are about 14 to 15 weeks. So we have no application fee, and our administrative fee for 1 unit of CPE is it's actually $824 on the books right now, but we're looking at trying to get that brought back down to around $8. These are our certified educators. There's Reverend Dr. Lori Garrett-Cabina, myself, and Reverend Marissa Danney. We're in the lovely town of San Anselmo, California, about 15 miles north of the Golden Gate Bridge. And we do offer in-person, primarily in-person, but we are planning to offer one remote/hybrid unit per year, at least to start. We may offer more depending on the demand. Next. This is our web page. Lots of slashes in this web page. You can go to redlands.edu, type CPE in the search bar, and I think it'll be, you know, the first or second thing that pops up in that search.
50 seconds.
You can email me if you have questions. Our upcoming units, spring in person, and we're going to have a spring online extended unit. Next. So again, to review, we're a community-based program, many contexts for spiritual care. We're in a university setting, and one of the most comprehensive theological libraries in the USA is on our campus. One of the branches is on our campus. And I think that's the last slide, maybe. Yeah, this is the last slide. Look at all these beautiful, happy faces. Marissa will be holding space in our breakout room following the presentation. If you have questions or want more information, please do drop by to see her. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I am Kido An, ACPE certified educator. I'm also a graduate of GTU. I got my PhD there. At Sequoia, we offer one-year residency program with stipends, and then occasionally one unit without stipend. So tuition for each unit is $400. So times 4 will be $1,600 a year. And individual one unit internship will be $500 tuition. Our residency stipend is now, it was lower, but now we made it up $48,000 plus free parking. I think that's very good benefit. Being in Redwood City, a lot of parking fees are high. And then we also provide reimbursement of health insurance premium up to $400 a month. It's about $4,800 a month. So this is the individual vendor contract, not employee contract. And you will hear differences later with other centers. But our center is stipend structure, $48,000 a year. And then we are responsible to pay tax and other things. Next slide. So our program is all in person. So everything happens in our hospital. So we are in Redwood City, Sequoia Hospital. If you Google it, you'll see the beautiful campus here. So everything happens in the hospital. And then it's the full time, 5 days a week. So 40 hours a week. That's the daytime commitment. It could be Monday to Friday. If you are on call sometime Saturday, then that counts as 5th day. So you only come 4 other days in the weekdays and then Saturday as 5th day. So that's our structure. And we have on-call responsibilities. Our on-call is not that much demanding. Sorry. Okay, our on-call is not that much demanding and we don't get called that much relatively. So we have 24-hour on-call. This is my contact information, my phone number there. And then there's no application fee. So as Marissa said, fill out the ACPE application, send email to me. We prefer email. So kido.ahn@commonspirit.org. That's my email address. So when you fill out the form, send email to me with application, face sheet, and then essays. That's what you need to do to apply to us. Next slide. So we are part of the Bay Area Center for CPE. So if you go to acpe.edu, you will see Bay Area Center for CPE with the Sequoia hospitals. That's where I am. Okay, you will hear others campus, St. Francis later, but I am in Sequoia Hospital, and we are in a big company under common spirits. It is we are the accredited, not-for-profit community hospital providing innovative and exceptional healthcare to generations of Bay Area residents. That's what I got from our website. So Sequoia Hospital is well known for heart and vascular institutes, cardiac service, and we have birthing center. Many babies are born here. So, and we have a total joint replacement and comprehensive emergency care. So that's our well known for. And for CPE, I'm emphasizing empowerment-centered training, and we have some human trafficking education and tools for our residents. So I'm going to be in our Zoom room, so I'm excited to meet some of you, maybe all of you there. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Eun-Young Statwick, and I am one of the component site or the Bay Area Center for CPE at San Francisco. And our hospital is community city hospital, and we spell out Saint all instead of ST dot, Saint Francis Memorial Hospital, which means it's not Catholic hospital. And it is located in 900 Hyde Street, which is right between toward the northeast of San Francisco, which is affluent area, and then to the south of the hospital, it is Tenderloin, a lot of unhoused residency. Let's see, so it is a community hospital, no religious affiliation. We offer a year-long residency with 4 positions, with a stipend 48,000 plus free parking in San Francisco, which means a lot. And tuition is residence 400 per unit, and any internship 500. Next slide, please. Okay. We do have a hefty on-call shifts, which occurs 4 times a month. So weekly on-call during the weekday and 1 on-call a month. And so it will be about 32 hours on-call in one setting. We do have a nice on-call room to sleep in. Okay, next, please. We do have some unique features in our program. We were licensed for about 200 beds, but it has been declining. And if you had heard any rumors or news, we are in the dialogue with UCSF acquisition communication, which might have some resolution toward the end of the year or like beginning of the next year. So that is where we are in a liminal space right now. And our patient number has been decreasing, and the hospital has been losing money. That is why the Common Spirit is negotiating with UCSF. We serve San Francisco and nearby cities, and very rich in diversity, both affluent and low social economic. And I think we were in ABC 7 News as the ED patient ratio, about 34% of ED patient visit was by unhoused patients, and which is a lot higher than LA, which was about 19%. So it reflects the culture, and our curriculum is designed for heavily toward training you to deal with the substance use, unhoused population, and severe mental illness. Next slide, please.
30 seconds left.
Okay. And we do have Gender Institute, and which is only in the nation, only place where we can do whole body surgery for gender dysphoria patients. I think that's it. I hope to meet you in the room 2 later. Thank you.
Great. So Sutter CPMC.
Yes, thank you. Hi, everyone. I am Sarah Harding, and I am the educator here in San Francisco at our California Pacific Medical Center. So we have a variety of offerings in our locations. We have 4 campuses across the city, and they offer inpatient, outpatient, ambulatory, hospice, at-home care, and we place students in all of those. We offer we offer residency programs, 1st and 2nd year, for those interested in focusing on certification, specialty areas, that sort of thing. We gear our 2nd year residency towards that. And the residents earn $55,000, which includes their benefits. It also, I didn't put it here, I just realized, but we have on-call pay, which is in addition to that. And on-call is 24 hours. So because it's additional pay, it's part of the 8 hours that you work, in the 5 days, the 8 hours that you work are part of that 24 hours. So you don't get a compensation day the next day, if that makes sense. You're just working straight through. But on-call is taking a pager home or to our on-call apartment, and it becomes the responsibility of the resident at any of the campuses to respond. But when they get their clinical assignments, they're located at one of our 4 campuses for their areas. $500 is for the units. We offer 4 units in 12 months. That covers our ACPE registration fees. And then there is the application fee, which can be waived. Next slide, please. Oh, this is just our beautiful city view. Because we have so many campuses, it was too many pictures to include. So that's our values at Sutter. Next slide. And all that can be found on the website too. So like I said, we have these 4 campuses that offer award-winning services in a variety of areas. Some are transplants, geriatric care, women's health, labor and delivery. This year, we are placing students in our cancer center, which is outpatient care, in our behavioral health, inpatient psychiatric care, our ICU. We have at-home telehealth care. So that's why it says there's limited remote options for the assignments. We moved to hybrid or remote for educational assignments if needed in the pandemic protocols. But otherwise we're in person for our class sessions. And then the clinical assignments could be remote if the student opts to do one of these outpatient care programs. So they can make telehealth and virtual calls to our patients. We also have a healing heart program that I'll mention. So we have faculty for that, and they train their interns in that. And then there's overlap with our CP program if students are interested in learning about music therapy and using music as a tool for their spiritual care. So next slide, we'll show you our 4 locations across the city. As you can see, we're in very different, distinct neighborhoods. So we move from the lower and being Mission Bernal, long-standing history in that area, serving that community. And then we're in the Castro district, area in the middle there. And then we're in the Pacific Heights at the top, and we're in the Tenderloin at that fourth site. So we have a variety of populations that we serve, variety of cultures. Depending on the campus that the student works at, they will learn more about, they will learn more about those cultures and subsets of care. Next slide is just me and my contact information. So you're welcome to reach out to me with any questions. And I received that materials via email, or they can be mailed. I wanted to just add that we have a long-standing history in the city, a continuous past almost 60 years of CPMC being a place that can offer CPE training. And so there's a lot of history in the CPMC site itself and its dedication to clinical pastoral education. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Mariah Callison. I'm one of the educators at John Muir Health. Our director, Reverend Beerta Voigt, is also an ACPE educator. She's not here with us today. And our newest member of the team is Reverend Matt O'Brien, and we're pretty excited to have him here. So,
hey, everyone.
So next slide, please.
All right.
I didn't need that slide. Can you go back? There we go. Okay, so John Muir Health Center for CPE is an independent health system in Contra Costa County, so the East Bay. We're expanding with new inpatient and outpatient centers in the fairly near future. Our senior leadership here is really committed to supporting and incorporating spiritual care throughout the organization. One thing that's really special about our program is the variety of clinic placements. Our Walnut Creek Hospital is a trauma center. We serve pediatrics, moms and babies, and is very well known for expert neurological care. Our Concord Hospital is the place to go for all things heart, open heart surgeries and things like that. We also have an inpatient and outpatient cancer center. Our CPE students have interactions with behavioral health, palliative care, home health, and various outpatient centers. We integrate board certification preparation and mindfulness into our training, into our curriculum, as well as creativity as a means towards greater self-awareness and as a tool for doing spiritual care creatively with patients. Now, next slide.
All right, yeah, our main program to date, and not to be overshadowed by our new programs, is the residency. Residency runs mid-September to the end of August and actually overlaps into the following September. There are no application fees and no tuition. And residents are full benefited employees. The structure of it is an hourly wage, so you're clocking in and out. And the annual take home for the residency is about $50,000, and a big part of that is overtime. And that comes with all of the on-call shifts. Residents are on call about once a week, and every 6 weeks they're on call for a weekend. And it's a in-person on-call, so we have a sleep room and a great facility here for residents. And what else? As Mariah said, there's a lot of different variety in clinical placements, but the focus of the residency is at the Concord campus, which is a big focus on heart, and there's a stroke center, and there's also, we're working on kind of the connections to behavioral health, but I hope that we'll really expand on connections to that. One thing about Concord that I've learned just as being here for 4 or 5 months is that the staff really lean on spiritual care. We've done a lot of staff engagement and staff support events, and it's pretty typical for residents that report their clinical time to talk about the number of staff that took them aside or asked to speak to them, pray with them, things like that.
Next slide. New this year is a part-time CPE internship. The first one is actually starting next month, November 13th, and it's an extended unit, so it'll run through April. The second one will be May through December of 2024. So it's a part-time internship, and so you would be looking at about 20 hours of both clinic and classroom education time. This includes one on-call shift every other week. The interns are also paid John Muir employees. We waive application and tuition fees, and there is not insurance benefits for this program, but there is time off in exchange for being on call, free parking, and we also, John Muir offers reduced prices for public transportation, so BART, things like that.
These are our lovely residents that are currently here. They're doing some great work. They're learning the ropes, and they come from all over. We also try to be reaching out and we've had international students, a long history of international students here. And yeah, I don't know much else to say about this. Don't they look happy on their first week?
Thank you so much.
And oh, are we done?
I think that's our time.
Can you go back? Oh, I guess not. Join us in room 4.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Carrie Buckner. I'm the Director of Spiritual Care Services here at Kaiser San Leandro Medical Center, just south of the Oakland Airport.
And I'm Reverend Stephanie Gameros. I'm a certified educator candidate here at Kaiser San Leandro.
And we're here to tell you about our medical center. Let me just look at my slide here, sorry. We're a general community hospital. We also do offer students to do their clinical hours or their chaplain service visits at Kaiser Fremont. So if you're interested in working in that medical center, that's also part of our CPE program. We offer part-time extended units, and we're offering a full-time summer program in 2024. And there's no tuition or no application fee for our CPE units. We waive tuition and we don't charge an application fee. The next slide, please. We offer 2 different options. The extended program, the part-time program, which we would be looking at beginning next September. It would be September through February. That's a hybrid learning. So we do a lot of the group education in a virtual format, but students do come to the medical center to see patients, and that's a 15-hour-a-week commitment that can be scheduled whenever it works for the student. We have students now that do 3 days a week, 5 hours. Some do an 8-hour day and a 7-hour day. It's really quite flexible. It can be a weekday, it can be a weekend, it can be an evening. There's no on-call requirement. I would say flexible is really the key word for our extended program. We want to make it work. We realize people have a lot of competing commitments with work and school and personal commitments. So we try to offer as much flexibility as we can, as long as people get the hours in that are required for the unit. You see here the contact information, where to email the applications, and I'm going to invite Stephanie to talk a little bit about our in-person full-time CPE program, summer option.
Yes, we have a summer intensive unit option here at our center. The dates that we're looking at are June 2nd through August 16th for this 40-hour-a-week commitment, both clinical time and group education. All will be in person here at Kaiser San Leandro, with options to work the clinical shifts at Kaiser Fremont as well, our sister hospital. We just look forward to meeting you, and thank you for having us.
Next slide. I think we have a couple more slides. Sorry. Can you do the next slide? Great. Just some unique features. We're a small community hospital. We do have some specialized areas for people that might be interested in working with our addiction medicine team. We have a very large maternal child health unit, and we also have a medical psychiatric unit, behavioral health unit at Fremont. So again, flexibility. And then the next slide, I think we have maybe one more. Here are the dates again for the full-time summer intensive that is in person. And let me see if I have one more slide. Oh, yes. And just, this is a picture of our beautiful labyrinth. We have a beautiful outdoor labyrinth here at Kaiser San Leandro. So yes, please come to our room. I have no idea what the number is, but we'll look forward to chatting with you there. Thank you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to CPE at Kaiser in Walnut Creek, California. My name is Jürgen Schwing, and I'm the educator there and director of spiritual care for our service area, which includes 2 hospitals, a hospice, and palliative care services. Next slide. We are a general community hospital with ICU, emergency room, maternal child health, palliative care. This year, our residents also serve in hospice, and we have a 12-month full-time paid residency. I'm the director of spiritual care and the solo certified educator, so I run all the CPE programs at our hospital. We have done away with tuition fees, so there's no application fee or tuition fee, and full-time residents receive a salary of about $40,000 per year. Next slide. We are a fully in-person CPE program, so we meet at the hospital for our CPE group education, and we are at the bedside providing spiritual care to our patients. If you'd like to get more information or apply, please send me an email at jurgen.schwing@kp.org, or you can send it via postal mail at the address there. You can see here in our photo our 3 residents who graduated last year at our graduation ceremony. Next slide, please. Some of the unique features is that I have some expertise in contemplative care and education and include that into our curriculum. I am a co-leader of a community of practice in using contemplative methods in CPE, and I've done some training at the Sin Hospice Project and at the Emory Compassion-Based Care Project. I also love working at Kaiser Permanente because it has a social mission. So we are an integrated healthcare system, and we are a nonprofit, and we do a lot to serve not only our own patients, but the communities in which we serve. We provide funding for homeless services, gun violence research, or other socially worthy projects. And we have a specialty in palliative care as part of our CPE residency. Next slide, please. I want to let you know about an immediate opening coming up in April. We've had a student who had to start in the middle of a residency, so therefore we will have an opening in the middle of a residency in April. So this is for 2 units that might be of interest to people who've done a residency. So maybe some of the big CPE centers who have had residents and want to provide an opportunity for a specialty for someone to do 2 units with us in palliative care, for example. If anyone is interested in that, please email me or contact me. Thanks so much. And that's it for Kaiser Walnut Creek. See you in the breakout room.
Hello, everybody. My name is Reverend Trent Thornley, he, him pronouns. I'm the executive director and the CPE educator at the San Francisco Night Ministry. And so at the Night Ministry, we are doing CPE in a very unique clinical context. We are a religious nonprofit that provides community chaplaincy services at night. So we walk the streets of the city. We have a nightly telephone care line. It's also a crisis line. And then we have various outdoor multi-faith worship services. Next slide. So yeah, next slide. Some unique features of our program are that we minister to folks who are living and working on the streets and on the margins. So there's a real social justice component of the program. It's also unique in that we do train how to do spiritual care by phone. And so pretty much any context you're working in, you're probably going to have to give care by phone at some point. We're a religious nonprofit setting. We're raising awareness and using social media and other things. So there's a component of the program that involves that. And we also have certain focuses with some of the CPE units. I'm myself ordained in a Christian and in a Buddhist tradition, and we've done some with arts education as well. Next slide. So we've got 2 units coming up. We've got the summer intensive, which is an all in-person unit. and then a fall spring extended unit starting next fall 2024, probably around October, and it will go all the way through April of 25. That will be an online unit that you can do hours at night ministry, or you can do hours online. Next slide. So we have a $35 application fee, $500 for tuition. We do offer a stipend of $800 upon completion of the unit. And then we do have an additional fee for students who are online only, because they also get an additional clinical site in order to support the online education. And the clinical site often pays that part of the fee. But for anybody who's doing in person at the night ministry, it would just be the $500 tuition and $800 stipend. Next slide. There's more information, and I'll also put that in the chat right now. And is there any more slides? No. So if I could share my screen, I'll just show you a couple of quick photos, if that's okay. In the last minute here I've got left. Well, you can go to the website and look at the photos there. How's that? Okay. Thank you so much. Look forward to talking with you. Oh, here we go. Here we go. I can show you a couple real quick. I think it comes to life when we see the kind of work that we're doing. Here we're actually out on the streets. And we do our care line, which you can actually do from home. We have various community programs, including an outdoor Christian worship service, queer programming, an open Shabbat outdoor Jewish service, an open Sangha outdoor Buddhist service, hopefully one day an open Ramadan, an open Diwali. Those are aspirations. And there's some photos from our clinical pastoral education and an annual vigil we have for folks who've died on the streets, which happens around the winter solstice. So that's it. Thank you.
All right, everyone. Hello, my name is Jen Dillinger. I'm the manager for spiritual care education at Stanford Healthcare, and happy to introduce you to our context. And I always say for Stanford, the two things that I think are real draws to our location are context and community. I'll say more about community in a bit, but for context, we're an academic medical center, which means we're a place of learning. For many different disciplines, including spiritual care, and that's integrated into the site. We're also a level 1 trauma center with many, many different specializations. And we're also located on the Stanford University campus, which is relatively unusual for a major academic medical center. And all of the things that comes with that, which include incredible speakers and activities on campus and community, and also the beautiful environment itself, which I think is very renewing as we're also doing the intense work of spiritual care. Here are the offerings that we have, and currently for this upcoming year, we're looking at a full-time residency, a full-time fellowship, and certified educator CPE. Next slide. Oh, that's very small. So our team consists of myself, Reverend Eric Nefstad, and Reverend Alice Kabatahe, who is our Director for Spiritual Care Services, and will be joining me also in the breakout rooms later on. So you'll get to meet both of us. All right, next slide. Here's the application and tuition, and then the residency and the full-time fellowship both have stipends, which we recently increased to include healthcare as well. And then as well includes on-call. And then our ongoing interns also receive hourly payments. Next slide. Okay, so all of our clinical is in person, very much on site. We have been doing a hybrid for class as a combination of both on-site and remote to ease both work-life balance, life or education balance, and also be flexible during the pandemic. And here is our information. Next slide. All right, so I spoke a little bit more about the context. Here also mentioning the fellowship. So we have our full-time residency, which is a key part of our program. And then even if you have a residency in place for next year, consider us in the longer term if you're looking to specialize in palliative care, psychiatry, ICU, or pediatric. Those are also opportunities for advanced training. We also have access to the libraries on campus, and again, lots of educational events and interdisciplinary learning. And then here are some perks that we also offer, including free counseling services, which we really believe in for ongoing well-being. Okay, next slide. Here's some of our campus. Next slide. Okay, here is our CPE team. Reverend Alice Kapataya, myself, Reverend Eric Nefsted, and then Raksha Patel, our administrative assistant, who you'll probably connect with if you reach out to us for more information. Next slide. Here are our staff chaplains, and I'll say more about our community. So one of the real hallmarks of our center is that we have strong staff chaplaincy community, and then we also have volunteers. So we have about 60 volunteers right now in spiritual care services. So you can imagine all that comes with that as far as the vibrancy of our community. We grieve together and we celebrate together. So for example, this Friday, we'll have a vigil for Israel and Gaza. And then in a few weeks, we'll celebrate for Diwali is the next holiday celebration coming up. And we'll dance together, although that's optional. But there's celebration too. And that's really made possible by not just, we have 15 CPE students on campus, but also a number of staff and relief chaplains. And that's our next slide. These are our relief chaplains who are part of our on-call rotation and further extend our community. Many of our folks are both involved in Stanford and in other forms of chaplaincy and spiritual care. So also neat ways that we're connected to the broader community.
Thank you, Jim.
Good afternoon. Hello, everybody. My name is Dennis Nichols. I'm coming to represent Sutter Roseville Medical Center in Roseville, which is just north and east of Sacramento. We are a regional medical center that offers 3 different approaches to extended CPE. We have an 18-hour per week program. We have a 12-hour and 11-hour program. The 11-hour program is essentially online, meeting Wednesday nights from 6 to 9. The 18-hour program offers 2 units in 1 year, meeting Monday mornings and Wednesday afternoons. And then the 12-hour program meets Tuesday afternoons. We have 3 educators, Gerald Jones, our director, myself, and Sharon Henry. There's no application or tuition for in-house residents. If you do a residency or clinical work outside of our hospital, as was stated earlier, we too find that other clinical locations are willing to pay the $1,200 to have you working for them while we train you. So our on-site positions all pay the minimum wage of $17 an hour during your extended time with us. Next slide. So both the 18-hour and 12-hour programs are done on site, and we've been doing 2 programs on site and the evening program for many years. Our online program has been functioning for 4 years now. We would love to have you join us. One of my students logs on from Florida at 9 o'clock every Wednesday evening to midnight. She's very dedicated. We're glad to have anybody join us, no matter what your situation. We're quite proud of the fact that we are extended program only, meaning we know that most of you are having to work full-time and maybe you're going to school doing other things. We're very flexible on your clinical hours. We do not have a mandated time for you to serve, just the amount of hours. So we have students that serve 7 days a week, anytime between 8 in the morning and 9 at night. We have no on-call requirements for you. We have paid staff that work through the night to offer that kind of service. So I'd love to speak with you more about our program. If you'd like to speak with me, I'll be in breakout room number 8. Glad to have you all today. Thank you.
UC Davis? Okay, we'll skip to the next one. Okay, UCLA.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Blake Arnold. I'm a certified educator based at UCLA Santa Monica, and I'm here representing UCLA Health. We also have a program over at the main campus at the Ronald Reagan Medical Center. I'll speak a little bit about the residency program that we offer there. If you're interested in being in a large academic hospital, UCLA Ronald Reagan offers a lot of opportunities to learn in a setting where you'll meet students from all kinds of backgrounds. There are physicians in training, nurses in training, social workers, you name it. I met a pharmacist in training. So there, it's an environment where they really welcome chaplains in training and a lot of good collaboration. We have long-time partnerships with our medical teams and a lot of interest in having spiritual care involved in patient cases. So it's a dynamic place to learn about spiritual care and to do your CPE program. The educators over at the Reagan campus, Marissa, could you go back a slide? I think it has photos there. Oh, sorry, maybe forward one. Yeah, there you go. So here are the educators for the Reagan campus, Reverend Yuko Yasuji and Reverend Keith Wakefield. Also at the Reagan campus, we have a department with second year advanced clinical fellows. Those are folks who've graduated from our program, but have stayed on a year to build hours towards board certification, and they're doing their board certification paperwork in that second year. And then also we have staff chaplains. UCLA Ronald Reagan is like 3 hospitals in one location. So our CPE students are involved in the acute care hospital. Very active programs, especially for transplant, for trauma medicine, oncology, very active in those areas. But also we have Mattel Children's Hospital, NICU, labor and delivery, and also students get to have experience working with psychiatric patients in our psych facility. Can you advance, Marissa, please? Thanks. So here's a little bit of, sorry. So this is just some information about the Santa Monica campus. It's about 4 miles away in the city of Santa Monica. We're more of a community hospital, so less acute types of patient needs, but a very diverse community here in Westwood and in Santa Monica. At the Santa Monica campus, we offer 2 units a year, which are single units. So we have an extended program that kind of runs on an academic model from about September through May. And then we do a full-time summer unit here. Next slide, please.
1 minute.
So there's me, and this is our campus. Was designed in about 2014, and it's a beautiful campus here. Next slide, please. So all of our programs are in person. Our education programs are in person. We feel that adds a really important component. And I'm going to quickly drop into the chat a little information sheet that you might find helpful. Just has all the specifics if you're interested in applying or wanting to learn more about our program. So that's available in the chat for you if you're interested in that. Also, just information here for contact. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Keith would be the person who will respond, and there's the phone number and the email address. Next slide. Yeah. Oh, so, and I'll hand it off to you, CSF, and I'll be in the breakout room. I think it's number 10.
Hey, everybody. Good afternoon. It's lovely to round out the presentations and see the amazing CPE work going on everywhere at all these sites in the whole region. It's an honor to be everyone's colleague. I'm Beth Godfrey at UCSF Medical Center. I'm one of 4 educators here. And there's a couple pictures of our main sites at Mission Bay in San Francisco, at Parnassus, kind of up on the hill. And the middle picture is a celebratory picture from Mount Zion, where we're also open for patient care here. Marissa, would you go to the next slide? Our colleagues here, our faculty team is Abina Johnson, who made national faculty on Monday. So Abina can now supervise certified educator students and candidates. And we are so happy to celebrate with Abina that goal on Monday. Myself, Brandy McMurray, who's primarily at Mission Bay in the pediatric and adult women's context, and then Susan Conrad, who is also our director. We have 2 open positions, one for a certified educator student candidate, and one eventually for an educator that's been frozen in the system for a long time, but sometime we'll have another colleague here. Next slide, please. UCSF Medical Center is, like many of our colleagues speaking earlier, an academic medical center that offers quaternary care. We have 3 inpatient campuses and a neuropsychiatric inpatient hospital. Currently, we have 15 residency positions, 5 at Mission Bay, 10 at Parnassus, and 2 immediate openings for the last 3 units of this year, as we had a couple of drops. So if you know anyone looking for 3 units of a residency, tell them to apply at CPE at ucsf.edu. That'll be on the last screen. Certified educators facilitate the small groups. I don't think there was 2. Will you go back one, Marissa? Oh yeah, our no application fee. It is a 4-unit residency with $1,800 tuition, which can be in installments, and that's for all 4 units. We do international scholarships for international students. And then our stipend, our student stipend is now $56,200. And that includes medical, dental, vision, and mental health, which is absolutely free to you with no premium and very, very low copays, like copays of like $5, $10. So next slide, Marissa, thank you. We're a big old quaternary care academic teaching hospital. Of course, basically not nonprofit model for health joined to the campuses. There's a lot of wonderful things going on all the time. We're leaning more and more and more into trauma-informed care. And for our residents as well, we give a self-care hour every week to our staff and our residents to renew yourselves and do self-care. And like a number of other programs, we have per diem chaplains that also help fulfill the on-call. So that is not all on the residents. Here, people are on call about once every 8 days or so. And some of those are day shifts, not overnight shifts now. So we're really leaning into sustainability. Next slide, or is that our last one? What is that? Oh, here's our contact information. We are primarily on site with a little, we do teach remote chaplaincy, and students have opportunities for remote chaplaincy days occasionally. And there's our website, our contact, and we would love for you to apply. See you in a breakout room.
Wonderful. Thank you, everybody, so much for these wonderful presentations.